Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing week and a spectacular day. Excited to have you joining us. We're going to be talking about how to step powerfully into your brain, like really maximize and leverage how your brain is made and wired, and then also how to step powerfully into your feminine power. We want you to be able to move forward. That's why they're stepping in a way that makes you shine, that really plays to your strengths and the way you're made inside and out. All of you on a cellular level, on a spiritual level, on a brain wiring level. And we've got the experts today that are going to help you do that. But let's open up the conversation in our minds and start thinking about this playing your way. When I first became an entrepreneur many years ago in the financial industry, I struggled because I was trying to play other people's ways. I was following people so closely that I admired. I was trying to do things their way, and I didn't pause and really find out how to play my way. And I went out and I found different coaches and different mentors, and over a period of time started to actually discover how I was made, and knowing that, how I could start to play my way. And it transformed my business. It transformed my life. Things actually became easier, more leveraged, more effective. But it really took this pausing and discovering, how am I made? How can I play my way and the way I'm wired, and do that more often in my life rather than doing things that need to be done in a way that's more difficult for how I'm wired. And just as an example, I've written multiple books and they've become bestsellers, and I continue to do that. I'm a writer for many magazines. But if you had asked me several years ago if I was a writer, I would have said no. Because to me, I interpreted writing as grabbing a pen and some paper or looking at a blank computer screen and writing things down. And I can do that brilliantly if I'm writing business plans, if I'm making checklists. I can totally tap into that part of myself. But when I'm trying to write a chapter or a presentation, or I'm trying to convey a story or a message, it doesn't connect very effectively in a checklist format, business plan format. And so I discovered the way I'm wired to tap into that part of myself. I do it verbally, which is partly why I do radio shows and I do a lot of speaking. It's tapping into that way that I'm made, and that comes to me with ease, and I'm able to convey ideas and thoughts. And I discovered I can actually record those and get them transcribed, and then create that story from that start. Now, I learned to play my way to still accomplish writing books, if newsletters, articles, etc., in a way that was easier for me than the way that was harder for me. And I learned how to do that in all of my business activities and in my personal life. I paid attention to things that kind of drain my energy, that are harder for me. Is there another way I can do this that's more energizing to me? So I want you to listen to our conversation today, to really listen for what is it that's going to help you play your way, that's going to empower you on your journey. I believe that you are here on a purpose, that the reason you're tuning into this conversation today is because there's something here for you. I want you to be able to tap into that to support you on your journey. So to do that, let's come together. Take a big belly breath. Breathe in through the nose, expand that belly. Out through the mouth. Great. And those of you who are driving, please stay alert, eyes open, both hands on the wheel, be safe. But those of you who are able to, sit back in your chair. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head. Take a big belly breath and close your eyes, bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Wonderful. And in this space, what is it? Eyes closed, inwardly tuned in. What is it that you need today? What will encourage and empower you on your journey? What is it that you need today that will help you play more your way, and less everybody else's, more the way you're made? Receive that information, that answer, and come back into the room. One more big breath. Eyes open. And what is it that you need today? I invite you to capture that. Let's keep it top of mind. Be actively on the lookout for what it is that you need today to support you in playing more your way. Beautiful. And I have those two amazing guests that are going to support us in tapping into our brain power and tapping into our feminine power. And what I'd like to do is just go around the room, and I'm going to have each of my guest experts just share from 30 seconds about what was placed on their heart as we connected heart to heart, soul to soul, spirit to spirit today. Julie Anderson. I'm renaming you. Julie, that was a test.
I like that, Julia. It feels royal.
I think I was combining Julie and Anderson. Julia. So, Julie, what was placed on your heart as we went in and took that moment to connect?
Oh, just really to have every single one of your listeners step proudly and confidently into who they are naturally wired to be, with no apologies, no regrets. You are who you are. Be proud of it. Be happy with it.
Woo! I love that. Yes. I celebrate and breathe that in. Thank you. Proudly step into and confidently how we are wired naturally to be. Love it. Candice, how about you? Did you have something placed on your heart?
Yeah, the thing that struck me most is there's three of us here on the call for a start, and just feeling the community of your women that we're here talking to, just that beautiful sense of feminine community and support and collaboration that is such an integral part of the feminine growth piece. And I was just really feeling that through us two here today, really enjoying that space.
Oh, I love that. It is a rich space, I find, to step into and connect with. It feels so good to really connect powerfully to our communities and lean in. Thank you for sharing. The listeners, I invite you, as we go into our first commercial break here, to continue to listen in, really see what's being placed on your heart that you are choosing to lean into. It's active. You get to choose to step more into how you're naturally wired, to step into this collective community, because it's not a solo journey. We don't need to do these things on our own. We're designed to connect and celebrate and support. So in that space, I invite you during these 2 minutes, don't run off and try to get things done on your checklist. Give the gift of these 2 minutes for you. 2 minutes to listen in, to receive, to feel that connection, and really receive that wisdom of what it is that you need today to lean into. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Voice America Women. Your passion starts here.
Are you ready for your rush of success? I'm Jim T. Chong, the walk star.
And I'm Cammie Ferry, the theater queen, the host of Rush Hour for Success on Money 105.5 on Thursdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. It's about getting entertained and getting solutions for your success in life and business.
Visit us on Facebook at Money 105.5 FM Rush Hour for Success, or download the Money 105.5 app on your phone for the live stream. That's Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Get entertained,
get educated, and get your rush on
Rush Hour for Success.
Age with Attitude TV is for the woman who does not see her future as a nice little old lady, but rather she sees herself living a bold, juicy, kick-ass second half. Now, if this is the life you want for your second 50, then Age with Attitude TV is for you. You'll find stories to inspire you, plus money and metabolism tips that really work. Check it all out at agewithattitude.tv, presented by Jan Rose Distel. Find us on voiceamerica.tv, and remember, it's never too late to create a life you love.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you said yes to you and you took those couple minutes to really listen in to what it is that you need today. That can make such a powerful difference in our lives when we carve out a minute, 2 minutes to do that deep breathing. That belly breathing actually lowers stress, lowers cortisol levels, and really brings us very present. And then adding in, what is it I need today as we're looking to move forward, can really help you live a life on purpose. I invite you every time we have these 2-minute moments that you will take that opportunity to listen in, to apply what's being shared with you so that it can help transform you, that you can gain that wisdom, that information that you need today as you go back out into the world. Let it really pour into you. Wonderful. Well, welcome back. And we are now going to interview one of our guest experts. I always love these interview segments because you get to hear powerful experts. It's a way for me to give you the same access to them that I have. And we'll actually have a way where you can connect with them that I'll be sharing at the end of the show. I'll be listening for that so that you can really tap into tools and resources with each of our amazing experts. But let me share a little bit about Julie Anderson. You got to hear a little bit of her heart in the beginning segment, but I wanted you to know some of her background. She is known as a brain lady, one of our nation's top experts on the brain personality connection. She is a dynamic speaker, author, with 16 years experience helping entrepreneurs and women to fire up, so not tune up, fire up their brains so they can play the way they are naturally wired to play in the world. She is passionate about that. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Julie Anderson to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here.
I am excited to have you joining us. Now, I'd love to always start with the heart. You know, why this work about empowering people around their brain personality connection, the way they're wired, why is that personally so important to you?
Well, I think because I've seen so much of what it did for me. When I first started learning this information, it literally felt like a huge weight was off my shoulders. And all of a sudden, those things that I always felt inadequate about, those areas of my life that I was trying desperately to improve in and change my personality because I thought that's what I needed to do in order to be whole, when I realized, wait a minute, just because I'm not good at something doesn't mean I'm bad at everything. It just means that's not in my wheelhouse, and I need to play to my strengths. And once I understood the science behind the psychology of what makes us who we are, like I said, it was like this weight off of my shoulders, and I lived much freer, and I wanted to bring this to everyone else.
I love that. I felt a similar way when I started to play life to my strengths, like accepting how I was wired was huge, and celebrating it, and then not trying to be something I wasn't. So I love that you are able to help people in that way, and you understand the science and the psychology, and in particularly how we are naturally wired to be, because so many of us can take on adopted styles, right?
Absolutely, yes. And that's the big key. Once you understand that so much of it has to do with energy expenditure in the brain and this technical science stuff, but you can boil it down into things that just make so much sense and are so practical in our lives. It is our DNA wiring, and if we try to fight against that, it is the difference between swimming upstream and gently floating down.
Beautiful. Julie was a speaker at one of my events recently, and she did an activity where she helped us kind of understand some of our natural wiring. And then and it was a large group, she had everyone stand up and go to their respective spots in the room representing how their brain was naturally wired. And I found that there was a very common theme in how the brains were wired in the room. It was a really powerful visual. And then you went on to explain something about if we went kind of catty corner across from how our brain was naturally wired to where it was not, what that did. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. I'd love to, because this is a big impact. What started me on my journey was studying psychoneuroimmunology. So the connection between your thought process, the chemical reactions, so what you're thinking in your mind, the chemical reactions in your brain as a result of that, and how that affects your immune system. And anything negative, long and short, is going to have a negative effect on your immune system and lead to long-term chronic health problems. When you are working or trying really hard to live in this diagonally opposite portion of your brain, to work to be something you are not naturally gifted to be, you're expending up to 100 times as much energy second for second. And what happens then is all this extra energy expenditure not only leaves you brain energy exhausted, but emotionally energy exhausted, physically energy exhausted, which leads to negative emotions. And in turn, those negative emotions do what? They lead to a downturn on your immune system and negative consequences in your health. So it gets pretty serious. It gets all the way down into not just negative feelings about yourself, but literally breaking down your immune system, and in the worst case scenario, damaging your actual telomeres that are protecting your DNA strands. So it's pretty important to live where you're naturally meant to be and stop fighting against it.
Yes, and I thought it was really insightful how you shared the way you explained it, that it's actually hurts your body and it hurts your brain to try to play in that opposite place from how you're wired and made, and then it can hurt your health. And really, I guess to me, it helped me look at those things even more seriously, not just that it was uncomfortable, but that actually could be harming me to try to play there all the time and force myself, and to really honor and celebrate even more how I'm made. Now, I thought it was really, really powerful to see that. And I could see the energy in the room when everybody had that aha moment lift. Oh.
Yep. Like I said,
Wow.
Weight off the shoulders, right?
Exactly. So following this, if we're learning how to play that way, then, and we don't have that weight we're dragging around, it makes sense to me that we would be able to achieve more. Just like you were saying, swim upstream versus downstream and going with the flow, that we're able to actually accomplish more because that's how we're made. And I just wanted to see if that's how I'm interpreting what you're sharing, but would love to have you comment on that or add to that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because now you understand that once you understand your brain-personality connection and where your gifts lie and where your gifts don't, you learn to maximize those gifts that you have. And when you're doing something that's easy for your brain to do, it's so much fun. And when you're having fun, you're happy. And when you're happy, you're literally glowing. And when you're glowing, people are drawn to you. So every aspect of your life, every relationship that you have begins to take a very positive shift because you're drawing those positive people into you, because you're not experiencing those negative emotions. You're not feeling negative about your business. You're looking at the positive because you're working in your wheelhouse and you're outsourcing the rest. You know, you're really building confidence in the people around you because you're noticing in them their strengths, and that's what you're praising them for, and that's what you're fostering in them. So it just builds success in every aspect of your life, personal, business, relationships, everything.
And who doesn't want to go around shining and glowing? I mean, fabulous. In our life and business, we want to radiate positive and
that's
strength
right.
and really confidence in all that we do. That's a very attractive quality to have and way of being in the world. I love it.
Yeah, and you know it's neat, Rebecca, too, because it's confidence not just in what you can do, but confidence in what isn't your gift. It's like, that's okay. I'm confident that that's not my gift, so I'm going to give that to somebody else to do. And it's okay.
And I celebrate that.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. I love it. I love it. And I know that you've put together an amazing gift for our listeners. I'll let them know how to access it, so you don't need to share links or anything. I'll let them know how to do that towards the end of our show. But do you mind sharing what your amazing gift is that you're going to make available to them?
Yeah, I'm going to gift everyone my audio recording that is entitled Step Into Your Power, Rock Your Natural Gifts. So I explain this brain-personality connection stuff with a little bit more details, a few exercises so that you understand it, and I help you to identify where your natural gifts are. And there's a worksheet that comes along with it so that you can work through it. And I'm going to gift that to everyone so that they can really get a good grasp in general of where their natural gifts are and start to be happy about them and be okay with them and just love them.
Yes, I love it. Thank you for the generous gift. So listeners, if you want to have more of Julie and really start to tap into your natural gifts and celebrate them in your natural wiring to start to play life your way, I really encourage you to lean into her gift. You want to make sure to stay until the end of the show, and I will let you know how to tap into her beautiful gift to empower you on your journey. We are getting ready for one of those next magical 2-minute moments that I invite you to lean in, be still, receive what is being placed on your heart as we go through our conversation today. And when we come back, we will step into our next conversation with Candice. We look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
This is the Voice America Women's Channel, where your success is limitless.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Age with Attitude TV is for the woman who does not see her future as a nice little old lady, but rather she sees herself living a bold, juicy, kick-ass second half. Now, if this is the life you want for your second 50, then Age with Attitude TV is for you. You'll find stories to inspire you, plus money and metabolism tips that really work. Check it all out at agewithattitude.tv, presented by Jan Rose Distel. Find us on voiceamerica.tv. And remember, it's never too late to create a life you love.
Are you ready for your rush of success? I'm Jim T. Chong, the walk star.
And I'm Cami Ferry, the theater queen, the host of Rush Hour for Success on Money 105.5 on Thursdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. It's about getting entertained and getting solutions for your success in life and business.
Visit us on Facebook at Money 105.5 FM Rush Hour for Success, or download the Money 105.5 app on your phone for the live stream. That's Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Get entertained,
get educated, and get your rush on
Rush Hour for Success.
Do you find yourself working tirelessly to keep your business going? Are you finding out that you don't have time for family, friends, any kind of personal life whatsoever? It's time to stop feeling trapped by your business. Tune in to Reclaim Your Freedom with host Shirley Dalton. You'll hear from guests that will help you work on your business instead of constantly in your business and get your life back while the business keeps running and humming. Reclaim Your Freedom airs live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. U.S. Pacific Time on Voice America Business.
Tune in for Suzanne Ross and Lighten Up TV, evolutionary wellness for the body, mind, and spirit. Each episode features Suzanne and her amazing guests, including inspirational authors, speakers, wellness experts, and spiritual guides. This series is focused on achieving total well-being so that you can live well and love life. Visit lightenuptv.net to find out more. Lighten Up TV is presented by the Awakening Center, a nonprofit for those seeking a higher way of living and being. Don't miss out on living your best life now. Go to lightenuptv.net today.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you took those 2 minutes again to process some of the amazing information that Julie shared with us, and you're actually getting excited about stepping into your gifts, about playing your way. What an amazing way to live in the world and understand your natural wiring in that. Oh, as we shift into our next guest expert interview, we're going to be talking about really stepping into your feminine power. I think so often in the world, we're taught to play in our masculine energy and our masculine power, and I don't know that we're taught as much how to play in our feminine power. I'm really excited to have our next guest expert help us really step more into that so that we can really bring a powerful blend together as we're out there playing in the world. That we're going to be focused on stepping into your feminine power. Our expert, Candice Oneida, or is it Juanita or Wine? Do you mind telling me your last name?
Oneida.
Oneida. Thank you. Oneida. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing things correctly. Candice Oneida is an international speaker. She is Australia's #1 feminist success mentor. She has over 13 years in corporate Australia. And as she shifted from there, she started 5 successful companies, which led her to want to help other businesses do the same. And her way of helping them do that is to empower their success by incorporating feminine principles into their business. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Candice Oneida to the show. Welcome.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me on today, Rebecca. I'm super, super grateful and excited to be talking with you today.
Excited to have you joining us as well. I always love to start with the why we do the things that we do. So do you mind sharing why this work of, in particular, bringing feminine principles into business, why is that personally so important to you?
Well, in short, it's personally important to me because having been a corporate woman in Australia for so long and then starting up my own companies, I was trained, like all of us women, we were trained to be corporate women and build our businesses on what I call man mode. We entered the workforce en masse as women in the 60s, and we entered a world that was set up by men for men, to no fault of their own, but we entered that world. And the way things are done, like the assumptions of everything behind the way business operates, is in man mode. I took it from the corporate world and then I applied it to my own businesses. And does it work? Yeah, it worked. I was very successful in those companies, but at what cost? And the cost to me was extreme cost to my health. It threw me into early menopause. It was taxing my health and took me years to get out of that. Now, Julie was speaking before about that. I also speak about the hormone relationship there, that we just are not designed to operate like that as women in women's bodies. And so it became my passion to learn a different way of doing it, because I actually love creating businesses. I find it incredibly creative and I love building communities. And then I realized that I was going to show other women how to do the same.
I love this share because I think we don't understand, women, how toxic it can be to us on an emotional level, on a health level, on a hormone level, when we try to be something to the extreme that we're not. And playing that way, we can do it, but it really comes at a cost. So I appreciate you sharing that, Candice. And I found that with myself as well. I ended up having a lot of health challenges. I was very, successful on the outside of how things looked as I climbed the ladder and did the different things that I did, but it did come at a great cost. And when I learned to play a little bit more my way and a little bit more in the feminine, life became easier and my health became more strong and vibrant. So really beautiful share. And I just want to underscore the importance of leaning in and listening to what Candice is going to share with us about being more in our feminine and bringing those principles into our life and business. Beautiful share. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, can you share what it means to run a feminine business?
Well, of course, in a few minutes, I can't cover all of that. And just to premise it with being a businesswoman for 20-something years, I know perfectly well that we need to use our masculine for some things and our feminine for others. Mm-hmm. It's just that having got royally stuck in one side of the spectrum, that doesn't work for us either. And so, honestly, to run a feminine business, what I generally need to do with the women that come into my world is I need this whole re-education of what the feminine looks like, what it feels like inside. Is like this reprogramming into what I call FemOS, or the feminine operating system, because we've been in man OS for so long that we do the whole phase of, okay, what is that? What is the feminine? I literally have women sort of embarrassingly saying, Candice, I'm kind of embarrassed, but what is the feminine, right? And there's a lot of misunderstanding about what that means.
Can you share maybe a quick misunderstanding and a truth with that around the feminine?
Well, for example, I think often the feminine is believed to be kind of passive, soft and mushy, defenseless, in the background, those kind of things, right? And pretty, like it's kind of often referred to as the externalization of the feminine. The true feminine, and I do a lot of education about the difference between true feminine and false feminine and true masculine and false masculine. So the true feminine is actually an immensely powerful plugging back into our power source, which has a lot to do with understanding that at its core root foundations, the feminine is plugged into an endless font of energy, literally. So you're energetically powerful, an endless font of creativity, and it has everything to do with this deep level of embodiment. And to be in the true feminine too, we have to have a conversation about your sexuality. Because as a woman, without that being part of the equation, you're not actually plugged into where your power is.
Okay. Thank you for sharing a little bit about the feminine there, just because there are myths and misunderstandings, and I want to make sure that we're on the same page in our conversation. And can you share maybe a tip or a way that we can get out of man mode?
Right. So the man mode thing, those of you that are listening and recognize, oh yes, I'm stuck in man mode a lot. One of the main keys is this piece on embodiment. And, you know, I do get edgy here when I speak about in relationship to your vagina and to your body and your lower centers. Now, we were speaking a bit about the brain chemistry stuff with Julie before, which is amazing, wonderful hearing that. And what I mean by that is really starting to recognize that, like in Taoism, in ancient Taoism, there's a whole body of work that's called the Tao of longevity. And there's a whole body of work that has to do with the feminine relationship to power, and that literally our physical organs and our energetic organs rest on our vagina. And if we are not in relationship to it, if we don't love and adore our vagina and our body, and that we don't understand that our sensuality and our ability to move in our body is where a lot of wisdom comes from. In fact, there's studies done now on the brain in the gut, they call it, of course, from modern science, that there's a knowing in there that is a very different way of operating. And it's like taking intuition from being something vague and deeply buried and in the background and honing it and cultivating it such that you know when to make decisions. And one of the things I speak a lot about is this concept of when you're in your feminine, sometimes the best action is non-action.
Mm-hmm.
And in the feminine, we know there's sort of three different things. Sometimes we recognize that in decision-making, for example, you recognize that it may be the right thing, but it's the wrong time. Or you know that it's the right thing in the right time. Or when you really feel into that deep gut level, you know that it's the wrong thing and the wrong time. Well, it's interesting even the fact that it's G-rated means we can't talk about that is interesting to me, like it's an embarrassing concept to talk about our female body parts. To me, that's in and of itself an interesting stance on how the world operates. But that being said, what we're talking about is embodiment ultimately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really being in your body, recognizing that through our body and our energetic body makeup, that there's a great wisdom that is very different to the way our head thinks, the way that we go. If in man mode would be like being rational, being structured, being systematic, being analytical. And of course they have their merits, and most of the women that work with me are highly intelligent and capable women that come from that background. So we're not going to throw out the baby with the bathwater, right?
Yep.
But there's this whole world of knowing that comes through the movement and the flow and understanding that the feminine has a whole lot to do with receptivity, which is the opposite of action. Right?
Wonderful.
So when we receive and we create space in our life, right? We
Wonderful.
create space.
And Candice, and I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we're getting ready for our next commercial break. So thank you so much for sharing just some additional examples about the feminine and the masculine and embodiment so that we understand different ways to look at that and express it as we are looking at how we're operating in the world and in business. We're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. So I invite you to lean in and really think about what's been shared with you, what's being laid on your heart. And when we come back, we will be sharing about Candice's amazing gift and then letting you know how to access her gift and Julie's. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
The Voice America Women's Channel.
Are you ready for your rush of success? I'm Jim T. Chong, the walk star.
And I'm Cami Ferry, the theater queen, the host of Rush Hour for Success on Money 105.5 on Thursdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. It's about getting entertained and getting solutions for your success in life and business.
Visit us on Facebook at Money 105.5 FM Rush Hour for Success, or download the Money 105.5 app on your phone for the live stream. That's Thursdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Get entertained,
get educated, and get your rush on
Rush Hour for Success.
The Ugly Awkward Dance Show is designed to help you move through those ugly, awkward, and uncomfortable life experiences. You know what we're talking about. Did you know that each challenge brings a gift? Once you've figured that out, even the toughest challenge almost becomes fun. Each program includes engaging guests who talk about what they've overcome, as well as a mindful movement exercise to help you move through your emotional blocks. Yes, there will be awkward dancing too. Visit theuglyawkwarddanceshow.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for people like you. With just one 7-minute audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities. This is a dynamic way to share your message, reach more people, and expand your impact. Apply now at yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent. Finalists get to audition live in front of community leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Don't wait. Find out more. Visit yourpurposedrivenpractice.net/speaker-talent.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation. The Voice America Women's Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-613-1612. That's 1-866-613-1612. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you took a couple minutes just for you as you were processing what was being laid on your heart and what you were sharing, and hearing and receiving, because it's interactive. It's not just us bestowing information upon you. It's really you energetically interacting with us and calling forth the information that will serve you, and you receiving or leaning into those things that are here on the show for you. So we so appreciate you joining us and being part of the conversation. And before we took our earlier break, I promised that Candice had a gift as well for all of you. So I wanted to go ahead and give Candice a minute to share about her amazing gift that you can lean into if that would be of service and support to you. So Candice, do you mind sharing?
Sure. So what I would love to offer your viewers is they're feeling like they dive a bit deeper with how I think and how I work with my women. I'm offering what's called a feminine success session. And that will be 30 minutes with me on the phone, me directly, and in which we get to have a really good look at what you're really wanting in your life and your business, looking at what's really getting in the way of that at the moment, and then we can come up with some strategies about how to actually achieve what you want.
Beautiful. Thank you. And listeners, it's really valuable having an opportunity to connect directly with an expert. And both of our amazing experts today have such vast, deep, rich experience that it's amazing to be able to have direct access like Candice is offering. So I encourage you to lean in to that opportunity to have a conversation with her like that, to really lay out what you're looking to do and get support in it. So I encourage you to lean in and say yes. And I promised that I would let you know how to access Julie's gift and how to access Candice's gift to support you on your journey. So let me share with you how to do that. You simply go to Radio Gifts, and it's plural because there's multiple gifts.net. Again, that's Radio Gifts.net. Not com, net, N-E-T, because it's a net full of gifts. When you enter in your name and email address, so we can stay in touch, there's going to be this vast, rich library of resources to support you that are just waiting for you to say yes. So right at your fingertips, you get to select those gifts that will be of support to you on your journey. For today's gifts that Julie and Candice are making available to you, you simply want to go to today's date, the day that we are live broadcasting the show, which is Tuesday, July 19th, and you'll see Candice's picture and Julie's picture for you to lean in and say yes to their respective gifts. And then I encourage you to stay a little while, look at some of the other gifts and opportunities that are available, and you can even go back in our archives and listen to the shows tied into those experts as well. We really want to have a library of ongoing support for you because it is not a solo journey. We are really here to encourage you, to walk beside you and empower you, equip and empower you on your journey. That's why we make these gifts available to you. So let's breathe that in. Beautiful. And then I wanted to let you know a couple of other quick resources as well. One of them is we have a channel, a television channel called EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com, where we have a variety of transformational programming that you can watch on demand. We have new shows and programs being added every day of the week and every week. And I really encourage you to lean in. And that's where you can actually see our Women's Empowerment Series events. And Julie was one of our speakers, and her show will be released in late August, early September. So you want to be watching for that, and you can see her amazing presentation I described to you, as well as other transformational leaders that are wanting to empower you on your journey. Wonderful. And then Julie and Candice, I wanted to give you 30 seconds, a minute to share a last thought, share insight, maybe a tip of something they can do today to really empower listeners as they go forth from our show. So 30 seconds to a minute. Julie, do you have a quick share?
Sure. You know what? Just really take some time. Take some quiet time, do some brain dumps. What I mean by that is just get all of the thoughts out of your brain onto a piece of paper, all the questions you have, and just really, really stop and think about what things come easy to you, what things come naturally to you, what things make you feel comfortable, and that's what you're going to get when you step into your power and rock your natural gifts by tapping into your natural brain wiring.
Wonderful. Thank you. I love and celebrate. I would encourage as well as you're tapping into those things that come easy to you. Just staying on.
Yes. Be proud of them.
Exactly. Candice, did you have a quick share, 30 seconds to a minute, that is on your heart to share?
Sure. You know, I would just say to the women out there, put into question if you are never taking any breaks, never taking any what I call out breath in your day, the way you're running your business or working. Put into question the world in which, or the paradigm from which you are operating, and recognize that just taking that self-care break, that out-breath, is a time to digest deeply what you're taking in, and it's where the creative, juicy feminine power will come back into you and into your life.
I like that. A breath and a pause at a time. Beautiful. Thank you, Candice. Well, listeners, I so appreciate you joining us today. I hope that this show has been of value to you, that you got moments throughout the show to process, to receive, to celebrate those ahas, and step a little bit more into the way you're naturally wired, a little bit more into your feminine power, the way you're wired and made. And as you are looking to go forward out into the world, I invite you to remember that you are so valuable, an amazing gift. No one's wired and made just like you. And bringing the way you're wired, the way you're made to the world is the greatest gift you can bring to those around you, heart by heart, life by life, and the world as a whole. That's how we can make a lasting difference, celebrating the way we're made, uplifting, and making the world a better place. So as you go forth, wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always, always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. I look forward to talking to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Women's Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.